Cheshvan, Samech Vav, page Shin Samech. Shin Samech.
So we saw the inner from mitzvah soy compared to mitzvahs Hashem, mitzvah Savaya. But the Pasha tzitzis at the end of the Seder Kriya Shema, we say the Chatam is called mitzvah Hashem, and then at the completion of that Pasha we say Laman Tizku Asis is called mitzvah soy. So we saw the Inen of mitzvahs Hashem, that was the Inen of mitzvahs Shayachim to the Gilui Oilis Mislabshim in the Kelim of Elam Atzilas, Elam Atzilas. We saw the Lashon at the Krishma Shalamita. The Krishma, Bittel Krishma Chashav Shait to the Yud Shel Shem Havaya, and the Tefillin Shait to the Kei the Shem Havaya, and similar to that, and over the mitzvahs we brought down the Zerka, we mentioned of about brought down the Zerka, but the mitzvahs are klang, or each one has got some sort of connection to the of the Shem Havaya. It's like grapes, clusters of grapes hang on from certain points on the tree. Well, we saw the dinner from mitzvah soy, that was a mitzvah harayam mitzad atzmus ain't say, but that's the mila from the slabshus in Kalim. And we saw there was even a mila from the whole shaychus to say the staush. Who is in Shaveda Hikiilo Va'odan Atzmei Eved or Marvia. We saw that that's in the Moshel, how we brought it Lamata, the Eved, the simple Eved, the Eved Poshut compared to the Eved Haneman. And we said that one of the great miles in the way that the Eved Poshut is that he's so botel the Metziusay, Gabi the Odin, precisely because he has no Inyan apart from the Tzivui of the Odin, he has no real Inyan with there. Mitzad his own heritage, his own calculations. So when he does the mitzvahs of the Tzivui of the Odin, then it's kira that he's bottled completely Beregahu. And he's even like, it's brought down in one of the earlier Mamarim, that he's even like a Ava of that particular Odin. It's like a limb of the Odin. So that has the a remarkable Mila in that marshal, that it comes out that it's when he does something, it's like as if the Odin himself did it. When I have it Naaman, a trusted servant who does also a high in on him, and he does him with his knowledge and understanding of the Odin's household and his inyonim, so then it comes like a dover, a sui alidei acherim. It's something that's been done by others, and so then the Odin gains his benefit from it. In an expression in Lashon Kodesh, min amuchan, it's already been prepared by somebody else. So he has a great satisfaction that fulfills his needs. But there's a basic inyan that a mensch, even a odin, even a elevated mensch, as if he an odin, he has a necessity and a satisfaction when things are done alidei atzmei, when he does something mitzad himself. The bittul of the Eved Poshut is so immense to him that when the Eved Poshut does something, then it's ki'ilo, the Odin himself has been poil that inen, kilo he did it bi'atzmai, so that if there's a inen in that, even though it might be a poshet to malacha afilo avedus kapayim, it might even be the work of the hands, but it brings in a certain revach, how do you call it, a panosa and a profit into the household of the Odin. Then when that was done by the Eved Poshet, then as far as the Odin is concerned, as Kilu, who Atzmai, who he himself, he was the one who was Marviyah, that Panosa. There's a very sweet taste in that Indian to the Odin that he can't feel in the all the elevated results of the Aveda of an Eved Ne'eman, because it's minamuchan, it's been prepared and brought to him to other people's effort, and through tiv havanosam, the tiv piulosam. But the Eved Poshet is kilo, he himself, the Odin Atzmei Paul Va'osa or Marviyat kilo, he himself earned that particular profit. So in the Nimshal, the Ainu Amshachas beginnes mitzvah Yisai. That's kilo the Eibishter's own mitzvahs. Mitzvahs k'moshe ein ba'atzmas mami. We're going to see in a second another expression which occurs here, that it's kilo that the mamish in the Nimshal, it's also kilo that the Eibishter himself does those mitzvahs. Kaviocha. And that's matim with what's the famous Maimon Chazal it's put down. Siddur and in the famous Maimon with the Chasanim, well, I'm sorry, not the Chasanim, the Bar Mitzvah boys, Chaza. There's a famous medrash from Posik. We say every day in davening, Magid Dvorov leYankiv Chukov Mishpotov leYisrael. The Eibishter gives his mitzvahs to the, and he tells them his things, he tells them his statutes. So the Medrash says that Mashu hu atzmei oiseh hu oimer Yisrael la'aseh. What the Eibishter himself does, he tells the Yidden to do. In other words, at Kaviochel, the Eibishter himself does the mitzvahs. He actually does the mitzvahs l'mayla. Mamela seems to be something very strong and useless.
Yeah.
Usually it's not as strong as that.
After they cleaned it works very good now. So.
Even though it's low, it's on low. Huh?
I don't know what it's on.
I don't know what it's on. Alright. So we seem to be given to extremities. Either we don't, either we schwitz or also we're feeling it heavily, feeling it powerfully. Or maybe because of the slight change of the temperature outside. Anyway, if it's too heavy for you guys, then we can put it over. If you find it too hard, then we can go. So, the follows Lafis here, that Inin brought down in that medrash when the certain aspect in all mitzvahs that the Eibishter does them himself. And that's why he commands them to the Inin to do them. This is principally in the mitzvahs how they are mamish mitzad atzmus is borah. Now, how the mitzvahs on lower madrega is, it's hard to say that the Eibishter, that he leaves to his avodim ne'amonim, that they will be mechavan to those in yonim. Of the mitzvahs that he does himself, as it were, but they're mamish the mitzvahs which are klulim be'atzmusay, how they are l'mayla from shayras to oiras amishlapshim be'kelim, mamish mitzadi atzmus himself. Of Amira, that's mitzvah soy, because that's the mitzvah how they are mitzadi atzmus. Kol zeh nivshach al yedei aveda zayeved aposhu, she'eved bebitul kol atzmusay. All this is achieved through the aveda, the eved, that he posha, that his aveda is with bebitul of his whole being, kol atzmusay. And we saw that it's not mitzad ava v'ishkash yesh le'eloheinu tzei baruch. It's not because he feels love and deep inner bound up kite to the Eibishter. No, v'loi mitzad ataynu v'asimcha sheyesh le'i b'nachas ruach. I'm sorry, v'loi mitzad ataynu v'asimcha sheyesh le'i b'nachas ruach shegeirem l'mayla. Also, it's not that he's got any of an tainug and simcha from the fact that he knows that the Eibush is having nachas ruach from what he's doing. He doesn't have that type of motivation in the avodah either. Rach mitzad ha'abdus bilvad, purely mitzad the inyan of being an eved, only shetzorich l'oseis alav uyel ha'toyreach v'amaso, that he knows that he has to take on himself l'oseis alav, that means to put on himself, to bear upon his own shoulders, you might say, the oil of the toreach, of the effort and the struggle. Toreach means, self-effort and struggle within the self. V'hamaso, and the load, literally. Lichvois es atzmei b'chol advarim shenafshei misava aliyah. He's got to continually compel himself the other way. Lichvois es atzmei means to be to compel yourself in another direction. He forces himself or denies himself in all the inyonim what his nefesh is has a taiva for them. Because he's a mensch of mitzad matzov ha'poshut, he feels the draw of the dvarim gashmim. He feels the pull of the taivas to the dvarim gashmim in his very essence. But nonetheless, he's koifer himself. So it comes out that he's koifer himself in a way that since his very essence is still shy to those inyonim, that when he denies himself at those inyonim and he gives himself away to the rotzen of the Eibishter, or in the Moshel, how the Eved gives himself to the rotzen of the Odaim, then he's giving his whole self away, because that's where he really is. He really is shy to those inyonim of those taivas, and therefore lich boish ruach tavosei, he is obliged always to conquer the spirit of his taiva. Whole prat in any detail that you might bring up. Ulavatel retzainai, and to completely give away his own will, v'liyesh kasher la'el, and to be like a ox to the yoke. Kasher la'el. But oil atayra amitzvahs af shuhu neged retzainai, even though deep inside himself that's really against his will. In other words, like the Gemara says, that Abda behefkeira nichalei, Emes Eved really wants to just be free. He doesn't really care about all the things that he's given to do. Deep inside, he would just like to be running around free. Therefore, the fact that he does all of those inyonim is really neged retzainoi, mitzad his self, the way he is, mitzad atzmusai. So kumtois that in every detail, b'chol prat, when he does, instead of all those inyanim rotzen of the Eibishter, then it follows that in every detail he's given away with his whole mahus to Elakus, because he doesn't have any mitzad himself desire or pull to all of those inyanim. So when he doesn't do those inyanim and he does exactly the opposite, and he's kovish himself, conquers his ruach tavosei, and he takes on this all of the Torah u'mitzvahs, then it comes out that he's all atzmus is given away by his azman to Elikos. The whole zeh nasa it's like keteva mamish. You might say, I don't know what he's going to do the next minute. He might, maybe all of a sudden he'll rebel. Yeah. So the Rebbe says no. The way in which he takes upon himself to do the will of the Odain, or in the Nimshal, the will of the Eibishter, is so profound and so devoted and so relentless, as you might say. The Kasher La'oil is so powerful and relentless within him that it becomes a teva. Nasa kiteva. And we could say this is like the Alter Rebbe brings in Tanya, the Alter Rebbe mentions in Tanya, right near the end of Perek Yud Dalet. If you're familiar with what the Alter Rebbe talks about the Beinoni, and he says that the Beinoni, he's also shy to the Inyan from Taivas Kashmir and still drawn after the Inyanim HaGashmir, but he gives himself away completely. And then he goes on to say that nonetheless, we see that the Bainan he's also got the Shavua that he's given when he comes into the Guf to be a tzaddik, Hayei tzaddik. And then we say, Al Chaponim Al Tahei Rosha. So we don't just say to him Al Tahei Rosha, we say to him Tahei tzaddik, but Al Tahei Rosha. So Al Tahei Rosha, that's the Bainan. Oh, what's this business with tzaddik? I mean, so that the Alter Rebbe says that even the Bainan is mechuyuv to try somehow to be a tzaddik. He's got to aim also for the tremendously elevated goal of a tzaddik. So the Alter Rebbe says that Alidei, what he'll continuously pull himself in that direction, then it becomes a teva sheni. In other words, it is teva. The way he is leaning towards the Dvarim Agashmiyim, and he has to force himself. What he'll work hard in the direction of higher inyanim altogether, beyond his normal madrega, then that becomes a teva, but he calls it a teva sheni. In other words, a new teva, an additional teva to the old one. And why don't you say it becomes his only teva? Because he's not mamish a tzaddik. He's still got a little bit of the old teva, and therefore it's called teva sheni.
The Rebbe always stressed that we have to serve God out of our teva. We have to get out of our teva. But this seems like...
Well, that's what he points out over there. In order to get that second teva, you got to fight relentlessly the teva rishon. Well, it's only when you get out of the teva rishon that you can have the teva sheni. So that teva sheni over there means that you're already out of your normal teva. He wrote earlier that the Eved Poshut is he's on the Madrega of an Eved Poshut, similar somewhat to the Beinoni. He compared him in the first time Miknerot. He compared him somewhat to the Inyan of the Beinoni. We have to say that in the Beinoni Gufa he's a very special, simple Madrega in the Beinoni. Nasa it's like a teva mamish. Leah is tomid b'avodazu. Now you see, that's already the teretz on the kasha. That maybe it'll all blow up at some point. Maybe it'll burst. If he's just continuously conquering himself this way the whole time, then maybe he'll just one day fold up and say no more. So that's the teretz. That all this has become so accustomed by him that it becomes like a teva, and a teva is something that's in the very essence of the makeup, so it's not likely to change, and therefore he's always tomid b'avodazu. But mipnei kabbalas oil malchus shamayim she'olov. In other words, why is it teva and why is it tomid? Due to the kabbalas oil malchus shamayim. In other words, the kabbalas oil malchus shamayim has in itself such a profound koyach, that really what makes the teva sheni and what makes it tomid without change, that's the power of the influence of Kabbalah Sir. Mishum said, Kol Mahusay hu rach liyes b'avodazu amutelas alav min adoin adoinka. In other words, because of that Kabbalah Sir, that's why he is continually that the whole of his being, Kol Mahusay, he's only to be in this, and to be in this avaita. As we see the fisher, the secret of the Eved Poshut is Kabbalah Seh. That's what it really comes down to. That what is the mafteach and the kudas like the key to the whole inyan is the inyan of Kabbalah Seh. Meaning that a koyah within a yid, that if he takes on himself oil malchus shamayim, not just he takes on himself oil. He knows that that's the rotzen of the Eibush that was given al yedei Moshe Rabbeinu and the Torah. Then there's a inner lasting koyach in that malchus shamayim, which is beyond all the inner inborn tibias, tzeinis and taivas v'chulu. No matter how strong they may be, that the El Malchus Shamayim never turns it into a isapcha, never makes it, he would never want those things again. But it makes it for sure and establishable, be chashash, without what you might call worry, that for sure he'll always be b'derech zeh, he'll always be mamshich, and he'll be tomid ba'il kazeh, and he'll always be oived avidosai, in a zamin noifen, that ein shinui, ein change. So we need to understand, if he's there, what is the mile of Kabbalah soil? What's the sinian of Kabbalah soil Malchus Shammai? What's the union with that? In particular, as we go along here, we're going to mention a point of simcha and tainug, things of that nature. But it's going to appear that if you don't have simcha and you don't have tainug, then you must eventually freeze up. You can't just keep going the whole time. So what's the in the Kabbalah Sil? No, but obviously if he's got Kabbalah Sil, then even though he's got all these other traces of the tibias to get tigers and all those, still pulling him, and they still mavalbul him, but Mitzad the Kabbalah Sil, he's become like a new nature in himself, a new terror, and that will carry him forward. And always he'll be in this Aveda, and he'll always be devoted to what's been placed upon him. So we have to say that maybe we should just Shnei Inyonim B'Zeh. One, we could say that the Inyan for Yidden is it's not that every Yid who appears on the scene at any given point is just eventually appears on the scene and he's starting from way back, from scratch. All the things that have been done by Yidden, all the generations from the moment of Matan Torah, and even with Nezeh, because we see that this week's Parsha deals with the obvious, with Avraham Avinu, the Lech Lecha, but that's Kabbalah Sil, in the highest form, Lech Lecha Me'atzuchom, Meladedecha, Be'esavicha. So we see that we draw even on the obvious, we draw. So this is Zicha, that power of Lech Lecha, go out and be makabel on yourself in yonim that you don't even basically know where and what, and that's what Avraham Avinu, Rashi brings that he didn't really know what it was all about. They said to him go, and so he went, and that's written in the pasuk. Go to the place I'll show you. Didn't even say to him, go to this country and look up on the map and this latitude. That's where you're headed for, but you're just going over there. That's an amazing thing when you think about it. Max didn't even know where's going to be his town, his city. Where's he going to put down his chapels? What's he going to do with these, whatever? He had camels or donkeys or places. What's he going to do with them? And just, okay. So we see that all these inyonim, Yidden abonim, obvious abonim. So the obvious are obvious, and the kinders are the kinder. So we have to say that these inyonim were established by Avraham Avinu. He is just so unbelievable, Avraham Avinu, that so much he achieved, in his life. And we'll see maybe in the Shir Torah a little bit about it. That Avraham Avinu just established things, as the Alter Rebbe brings in Tanya in Perek Yud Ches, that he even turned what sort of neshamas that are going to come to the Yidden, all the generations to come. Mostly it depends on the Ovis. It's not a Matan Torah. It depends on the Ovis. And then Yitzchak Avinu came along, he just went to the Akedah and did everything. Shalom Aleichem doesn't have any shyness, it doesn't care, just doing the Avis' work, getting the world, straightened out. Young people, the that he went through, and he beat the whole Lovan against Kesed the Klippa at Fortan. Lovan was powerful. He's Adayim Aseh, he's one of the big quakers of the Klippa. Lovan. And Esau, the only Yaakov, had a war at him. it just kept going. So all those things over the generations, they become, that's what the Alter Rebbe says, they become a Yerusha. And a Yerusha is an inheritance. That's something that goes over, from generation to generation. And you don't really put anything into that. You just get it. It comes to you. And then when it came along to Matan Torah, Dafki because of the others, Dafki because they and Avraham Avinu wasn't even zecher much to be makabel the Torah. He didn't actually have the Torah per se, and yet he did everything else with the Torah. The Gemara says he even made Erev with Tavshilin, but none of those in there. But you guys learned the whole sugi in Beitz about Erev Tavshilin. And as I weiter, ich come to this Lefi say, talking about a man, he didn't have it, and yet he did. He gave himself away, unbelievably, for a gun Sardinian, knowing that in a certain time when Hashem would want that his sons would receive the Indian Begola. So by the time it came to Matan Torah, he didn't have all this build up from the Ovis, and therefore the Avish says, no, who's your Viltetst? And the Avish said to the Yidden, what do you guys want? And they said, we don't want anything nicer than Ishma. First of all, whatever you say, we'll do it, and then we'll see later what to work it out. But the Gemara says that's pushing to cuckoo. And the Gemara says that's I'm a paziza. The Gemara said that you had to kill a crazy people to do that. They say first, oh yes, and who knows what he's going to tell you to do. And he brings up the Goy said who was it out there? He said that you're an amma paziza, that you put your mouths before your ears. Nobody says no, you're not right. Nobody denies it over there. The Gemara just tells it. Nobody says, but of course he's not right. Oh yes, he is. So Milafizek from Torah, the Yidden, by the time they got to Matan Torah, they were carrying the whole, build up of Avraham Avinu with Lech Lecha, with the Gonzalina. So they said, nice of an Ishmael. Kabbalah said, what's a Kabbalah said? Doesn't shut Kabbalah said. So Kumte said it goes over the generations. It gets more and more in a way. The demand for that Indian becomes more and more in some ways as time goes on. I remember when a Yid takes on himself Kabbalah, or Malchus Shamayim, not just down, he commits himself to Efes, or he takes on himself Kabbalah, or Malchus Shamayim, so there's a huge momentum builds up inside that Kabbalah. That taking, there's the whole Kirch of Avraham Avinu, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and the Shvatim, and the Nevi'im, Chesed, thing, with Matan Torah, with Moshe Rabbeinu. It's all there inside the Yid. So when he's Makabel, Oil Malchus Shamayim, so then says the Alter Rebbe, that to a certain extent, that pushes away all the other Inyanim. It's not the shot that he's a higher Neshama. He's not. He still has a Shaykh to the Olam. Oh, but he's already got the senior of Kabbalah, so then we can be sure that it will become like a Teva, Veloi Yishtane, that it will be a Inyan from Tommy. So we see the great Inyan from Kabbalah, so Mahusha, Hina Yavidose Hanemona, Nechsheves Eitzel Odon, Kihilu Hu Atzmi Koviyahu Uivei. So here's the question that he brought over there in that Maimah, Achlei Avakev and Teilecho. Now he gives it a new emphasis that he said that Avodah Ne'amenes means it's trustworthy to the extreme. Yeah, but a faithful Avodah on the part of that Eved is reckoned by the Odin as if he himself did it, Kaviyach. And Kaviyach Mailet. The word Kaviyach is referring even in the Nimshal, that the Eibush sees the whole Avodah of the Eved Bashut, Ki'ilu he himself is doing it. כביכול אויבד, והיינו שעל ידי זה דווקא נמשך מבחינת מצווה סוי, מצווה שהעצמוס ממש אויסה כביכול. It's mitzvahs that the Eibishter himself, the Atzmus, he does the mitzvah. If I hear the ties that the Eibishter himself does the mitzvah, we should do it. And Kilo, the Bitler, they ever, the Malchus Kabbalah Sarah, they ever, Neman, Foshet, I'm sorry, is so great that Kilo the Eibishter himself did it. So, I mean, this is an amazing chiddush because you have to have koach of Faransikan and the Alinonim. I'm sorry, this is Tam Muzo, I just don't have any koach. But the Zach is that you know the famous Indian when they get to Dir Aloy's Borat Taktoini. He said that the Eibishter, when he made the world, what was the Kavanah we had at the beginning? Varichas, when we learned Samech Vav at the beginning. We don't know the people, they started it, but they're all sort of coming in and dropping out. It was still forging along. By more of it, Samech Vav. We learned at the beginning that the whole time, Nisava HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael is Baruch Dira B'Takteni. He was the one that had a taiva and an inexplicable will that it should be a Dira B'Takteni. So what you do at a famous little clutch kasha. Everybody says, no, okay, Abish, you want a Dira B'Takteni? You call Yochel, you have a problem. You can never make the lowest of all worlds, and you just go down there and be the friend. Deal with Doctor. Have a time with deal with Doctor. Gesundheit. Right? Elamai, was it the quetch? What's the whole quetch? The Samech Vav, yeah, last year's lawyers about deal with that. He wants it. We should make him the deal with Doctor. And the other should make him to do it. So, what does that handle? The Mashu Acher. That the Adam is going to become in the Olam Shein Tachta L'Mata Mimena. And he's going to have an Yitzhar and a Shabbat you're going to have to come to build against him and and after we became there, he's going to make a Dira Lo Yisbar. So here the Rebbe says, yeah, that's right. Of the clutch kasha is true. Who really makes it? They used to make it. So who really does it? They used to. Now, what you did, the bench in the middle is so botel, and that's the trick. That he just becomes like a, how do you call it, a medium through which the Avish anyway does it. Yeah, to reach that type of bittul, and to be an Azam in Indian, that's what the Avish wanted with the Gansan. He wanted to make a mensch what he wouldn't feel any bittul. There's a button. Yeah, he should become the medium for which the Eibishter makes it. And so of course says that really the Eibishter does it. Over he has this unbelievable tiny that in the middle there's this Eved. And he becomes like the what you might call the Eva of the Odin, and the Odin really doesn't. And when we come to this, if he's there, that with that I was saying that really both things are true. Lastly, he's born a deal with Taktoinium is an emerson of the Eibishter. So the Eibishter made a deal with Taktoinium. What do you say? You're there to be like a little boreg, you're like a little, a little bolt in the middle. Oh, the bench should be a bolt. Oh, this is only a trick. He doesn't want to be a bolt, he wants to be a spike. You prefer to be a thorn or something. He wants to be a bolt. Oh, yeah. And eventually become a bolt. Oh, this is so they said he became a bolt. Although he screwed him in, he became a bolt. They go home. Pretty close. After the fact. So if it's too cold, you can turn it off. וזהו גם כן, שהעצמוס ממש, remember the same thing with the mitzvah. It could place it really who makes the mitzvah, the Sefer makes it. What do you do if I say, what do you, I mean, you bottle of cheese, you don't know what the cheese is called, so who are you so? Yeah, the Eibishter makes the mitzvah. You just dry around. You dry your hand. As the old expression has it, as long as you don't get in the way, you don't disturb anything. So you already made the mitzvah. It's a pity blow when you think about it. Mel said that Rabbi Chazeu, the simple Eved says to the Eibishter, make happy the soul of your Eved. Should his brother here do a man, the Eved has it, at the end of the Maimon, that this Eved is so given away and he has nothing for himself. He's just mamish a person, and he's scratching him and forcing him to come with all time Kabbalah. So the says to him, the audience has to look at him and Rahmanas and give him a bit of simcha. The audience has to be Mesameach, because he doesn't have any koyach to be Mesameach his Atzmai. Memahu Yesameach. Then the audience is Mesameach. That's what we say. Sameach nefesh aber. You make freilich the nefesh of your Eved, because he's abdecho, he's yours. So you look after him. Make him freilich. Da Eved hazeh tzorich ha'odin l'samchlei. V'akavona hi shesimchas ha'odin atzmei tiyeh simchosei. Those are the man. The unbelievable lufta from them is that the simcha of the Odin, that becomes the simcha of the Eved. V'loi rach mashu hu sameach b'simchas ha'odin. Not like the Eved Ne'eman, that the Eved Ne'eman, he's happy because he knows that he's made the Odin happy. Well, since he knows that he made the Odin happy, that he's happy. It's also a very high matrika. Not that he's happy that he's going to get rid of my boy or something. He doesn't even marazal adas. He's happy because the Odin is happy. But he's also a bit of a Matthias. He's happy because the Odin's happy. It's also there's no way. As soon as they close the helicopter, they wipe you off from all sides. That's also a Matthias. Like you're holding his whole simple is only the simple of the Odin. So no, this is a Matthias. Elamai, he doesn't have any simcha of his own. He doesn't have any simcha of his own. His whole simcha is only the simcha of the other. He feels a ha'ora of the simcha of the other. And remember, that simcha that the Eved Pashut feels is a divine simcha. It's not a human thing. It's a tainug, which comes from the tainug Shalom. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's once again, who's really making everything? It's all him. You're just a boring. It's unbelievable. I'm sorry. And not that he has simcha because the Odin has simcha. No, that's what he has. He has to have only the Odin simcha. V'hainu, kasher nimshut b'chinas mitzvah yisoi. The when it's nimshut the madrega of mitzvah yisoi. Shazeu b'chinas harotzen v'hainu ha'atzmi mamish b'mitzvah. The Kaviyachol, the Eibishter, has this unbelievable kind of atzmi l'mayla from the mitzvahs which are done down here. Shazei inyan ma'asheyer of loya. And that's what it's terribly sweet to the Eibishter. And that's what he says in the Moshel over there. In Achrei Avaya Lekechem Lecho, that the Odin has a tremendous sweetness when it's considered that he owns the thing. Well, the same thing here. The Eibishter loves and has tainu for mitzvahs. What he really does them. He really does them. Now, then you're just like a little boring in the middle that you do it for him. Oh, but he doesn't. Well, then you feel the emissary simcha, that because it's sweet by the Eibishter, then it becomes sweet by you. Okamoy nachas ruach lefana ishamati v'nasir tzayni b'pchinas kiyum arotzen b'maise b'peo mamish b'li shum kavana. So the Rebbe said, Okamoy, like it was mavua. We already learned this earlier in the Emshek, and where we learned in Sukkot and in Shmini Atzeret. But there's what the Eibishter says in reference to Korbanos, that he says, Nachas ruach lefonai, reach nechoyach la Hashem. Rashi Taisus over there, Nachas ruach lefonai shamati v'nasir tzayni. So he says, Nachas ruach means how do you call it, the satisfaction is lefonai. It's by me. I have the satisfaction, says the Eibishter. Lefonai, in my pnimius, literally, shomati, that I said v'naser. I gave a mitzvah, and you guys did it without any shilas, without any. You just did it because I said, only because of that. Amati v'naser eteni. Or this is the emser nachas ruach lefonai in the pnimius of the Eibishter. And he said, what does that mean? V'naser eteni. The keeping of the Eibishter's will, b'poyel mamish, b'li shum kavana, without any kavanas whatsoever, gam loy la'asis nachas ruach, not even to make the Eibishter nachas ruach, ki im shum nitztave, because we have been commanded, we've been told to do it, that's why we do it. Shazeu asiyah b'poyel lavor, that is only the doing, only asiyah b'poyel, but that is b'chinas hanochas atzmusi legamri. When you do a mitzvah that way, then you're giving yourself away altogether. In other words, you make a condition that the reason you're doing this is only because you were commanded. Otherwise, you have absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with it. Only because you were commanded. Not because you enjoy it, not because it's beautiful, not because it's fulfilling, not because not even because you're good on Menachas Ruach to your Father in heaven. All that, nothing. No, you were told to do it. That's why you do it. So you might say, well, it's written in the bracha that you make. You were the one who you hold this with your mitzvah, and you told us to do kach v'kach. When a person does a mitzvah that way, which complete putting aside of his own self, it becomes nachas ruach in the pnimis v'atzmius of the Eibishter. In other words, that's the nachas ruach shalamayla. I favui the Elter said, we don't know why. Why isn't this word? Why the Eibishter? Oh, but that is the nachas ruach shalamayla. When you are legami, like we said before, just a little screw, the Eibishter will now screw you in. You're just not there. You're given away completely. Absolutely. The whole thing is only retained bilvad. Then the Eibishter is nachas ruach. The nachas ruach v'oine v'atzmiyah zeh, well, that satisfaction, that essential oine of the Eibishter in his own self, zo shenimshe b'nishomes ye'yeh behem b'chinas hatayna v'atzmi da'azmi saying that's nimshach into the nishomes, and they feel the taina v'atzmi of the Eibishter. In other words, the fact that Eved Poshet has a tainu, it's not his tainu. It's not his tainu. He's feeling the oine ga'atzmi of the Eibishter. Not that he's happy that he gave the Eibishter that nachas ruach. He gets a ha'orav of that nachas ruach into him. Those are the pshat. Yes, ye'yeh bohem b'chinas hatayna v'atzmi and jamim. Unbelievable. So come to us once again that really the Eibishter's doing. It's all him. He just like screwing you. But the unbelievable, what you might call outcome of that is, or the thing that goes with it, is that that's because you gave yourself away entirely, only to the tzivui. Therefore you become, as it were, like the Eva, the Eibishter himself. You become like him himself, and therefore what he feels, you feel. At a time that the Eibishter feels that you feel it. Those are the pshat nachas ruach. Lofan aisha amati v'nasir v'tzoyin. That's an unbelievable thing. Well, once again, we come back to the same old thing. That really, it's really him. Why does he want you in there? That's what the Elter said, that we don't know why. Or what the Eibishter wanted, you should be there, and you're not there. You should be there, but you become so bottom, because you give your whole self away. Berega shalom mitzvah, you're just not there. Atalosa.
We learn in Lech Lecha that the mensch is the tainuk in the panimis of his nefesh, but it seems like the Eved Pashut is not using that at all. He's just using his nefesh.
No, you're right. Yeah, we see over there, we weren't so much talking about the inyor of Voida, ultimately speaking, that's what you have to have. We were talking about the two koiches in the nefesh, of Oinig and Rotz. You follow? In order to discuss it, to describe the koich Oinig, you have to say how the mensch has Oinig. Have you got me? But the whole purpose there was to get to the inif and Oinig and Rotz and how they are Lamaila. If you remember, that was the whole purpose. So we have to describe. There's a certain koich in a mensch also called Oinig and a certain koich called Rotz. We have to discuss the difference between the two. You follow? Now this Eved Poshut, at least Peshas when he does the mitzvah and he does the Aveda or the Eibishter, he doesn't have any time or any rotten anything of his own. He's giving himself away completely. But he does have winning and he does have Shalom Aleichem. That's a divine thing. Really for it. I mean, if it hadn't been for the Samech Vav, you wouldn't be able to say this. Said the Rebbe Vazel, Yishran Milas however the Poshut. Well, this is the unbelievable additional advantage or the additional greatness that there is in the Eved Aposhut. Ho'oyeved bo'el malchus shamayim she'olo. Al Milas however anema over the Mila of the Eved anema. Now we're not taking away the Mila of the Eved anema. He's got Milas. But this is a Mila which is even greater than his Mila. That the Eved Neman is a man what he serves because he loves the Eibishter. And therefore he serves the Eibishter below him because he loves him. And he's Mukush, he's bound over to the Eibishter. Yeah, and his simcha and his tainut is bo'ineg v'nachas ruach shel hamayla. Since he knows that the Eibishter has nachas ruach from what he does, then he has nachas ruach. So it's like we said, it's a very elevated tainut and a very elevated nachas what the Eved Neman has. But he has his own tainut, but it's because he knows that the Eibishter has to. Over here, the Eved Poshut, he doesn't have it of his own. He only has the tainut Shalom Aleichem. Therefore, he said that's an unbelievable inyan of a Maila that there is in the Eved Poshut, or Kamoi Kain, Maila Saben, that the Eved Poshut's got a Maila even over a son, Sho'eved es Oviv, Mitzad Ishkashus Atzmi Shaboy. Yeah, in other words, a son will have a similar inyan, that a son, because his mom is the same etzim as the father, therefore he serves his father, he gives himself out to the necessities and so on of his father, and he serves him. He said, Eved Poshut's got a mile even over that. Yeah? And therefore there's some people that they serve the Eibishter and even they feel that they're like a ben, it's at the Bonim Atem, it's at the Nishomes. And brought down over there on that Maimah in Achrei, he said that that's Nishomes Datzilus, very, very high Nishomes. And they feel much like a son. The Indian of Bonim Atem is Meir in their Neshama the whole time. So the Rebbe said that's a tremendously high Maila. Over the Eved Poshut has got a Maila even over that. Ben Sho'eved es Tovish Mitzad Ishkashus Atzmi Shaboy V'Alkein Hu Chofetz Kam Kein B'Meshu Hu Rotzen Ohav. He also, whatever he knows to be his father's will, he automatically wants that will. The Kol Zeh Ein B'chinas Aveda Gemura. He said that's not a complete avodah. That is not unbelievable. The Rebbe says that even the bonim, the nishomas that are called bonim, the very high madrigas of nishomas, he said even their avodah is not complete avodah. It's not avodah in the real sense. In the sense of him having been given himself away and putting himself aside completely. She'ena Metzias le'atzmi klal. But that means he's not a Metzias to himself at all. And that's what an Amasa Eved is. An Eved has no Metzias to himself whatsoever. Sha'ari yesh lo eze Metzias le'atzmi al komponim. He said he is what a little bit of a Messias for himself. והוא השמחה ונחש רוח שיש לוי מהנחש רוח של המיילה. He's got simcha and he has nachas ruach, and like that the Eibster has nachas ruach. In Cain, hari u'metzias b'fnei atzmei levad ha'odin now. He said the very fact that the odin has nachas ruach, and he has now simcha for the fact that the av or the odin has simcha, means that there's two things: there's the odin and there's him, or there's the father and there's him. It's a very idea. He said, but the Evid Poshet, there's now two things. The Evid Poshet is his whole Matthias is like, he's just like a Eva of the Odin. If the Odin feels a certain nachas ruach, then he feels it. Or he's not a Matthias Leat. Now, that there's a mile in the Evid Poshet even over those neshamas which are neshamas d'atila. And they call bonim, but they're going to riches. Hamavur and Bekitza over there in that man of Achreya Hashem al Telech. It's an amazing idea. That's the Indian of the Evid Poshet. That's what we find always, the two extremities in the Maimas. Oh, wait a minute, let's finish it up. Yes, יש להם מנח זו של המיילה, אם כן הרי הוא מציאס בפני עצמי לבד, Odin Vav, apart from the Odin and apart from the father, if we take the Moshe Ben Vav. He said, Levad Mashin is Buel, or B'dibar Mashko, Achrei Hashem, Yuayin Sham. He said, apart from what is Mavur over there, so it's a little bit sort of slightly tantalizing to know what does he mean apart from. Does he mean that there is some Mila in the Av and the Ben which is a little bit similar to his, and therefore it's apart from the Mila, or just apart from other Milas which are mentioned over there. It's a little bit hard to know what is the, but I think maybe what he's saying is that sof kosof there is a certain Mila in somebody who's a Ben or somebody's a Eved Ne'eman, what they're very high madrigas, and he writes over there that they're high madrigas in the Neshamas d'Atzilas, or all the prophets in the madrigas Elienis of Biyah, they're very high Neshamas. So they have certain milas that the Eved, I think that's what the Rabbi means. I must say I was slightly tantalized by that bracket. So Vad Mashin, it doesn't mean Levad in the sense that there is a certain milas in them. Apart from the fact that the Eved Neman's got his, the Eved Poshet has these unbelievable milas, or does it mean apart from Mila which were mentioned over there? But anyway, I think probably the first shot is more likely. And so therefore, if you look over there, it says that all neshamas come from the Eibustin in the form of Chelek Elakam Mimah, all neshamas are Sokos of Chelek Eibustin. And therefore, he said the Mila of great people like the Eved Ne'eman and the Ben, they can be very high in the Neshamas. I mean, they can be people with very high madrigas. He said the Mila from they is that they just feel their Shoresh on Neshama, they just feel their connection with other Kus, in a way that they don't need to work at that. That's not any Shaila by them. And the Rebbe uses over there an expression, what he calls Koyach HaMoishech. It's like a magnetic power of the Etzem Elikus, which is pulling at these neshamas, and they feel it. In other words, it's something which is a chelik of something, wants to go back to where it belongs. Can you understand what I mean? For example, if you've got a fire and you've got a spark, what does the spark do? The spark pops into the flame, right? Because something which is the same Etzem is a quote moshech. It's like a drawing thing which pulls into the fire, and that's like an attraction force, like a gravity almost. Wherever there's something which is a chelik of an etzem, and there's like a pull between the chelik and the etzem. The etzem has got this like drawing force to bring back its own little piece of itself into itself. And the Rebbe says over there that these great neshamas, there's a moishich in them. There's like the magnetic power of the etzem of the Eibusher. It's like drawing at their neshamas all the time, and they're very close. They didn't go all the way down into down with their neshamas. you have an Eved Neman and a Shamas of a Ben. So they have milers that the Eved Poshet doesn't have. The Eved Poshet doesn't feel that. But he's come so far down into Biyah, he doesn't feel that attraction for it. On the contrary, he feels the attraction for it the other way. He feels that the word pulls him. The world pulls him, not Elikut. So therefore, he's working the whole time against another type of Koyach HaMoshech. Therefore, when he gives away that Koyach HaMoshech and he goes to the evidence, it's clearly he's gone with Kol Atzmos. It's an amazing achievement. That's what the Rebbe means. Levad, he's got certain milers. Levad, the milers that the Eved Neman, a ban of God, they have got certain unbelievable milers of a dafki. Because of those milers, in the ultimate, what you might call calculation, then they remain a certain Metzias, even though they're much less of a Metzias. The truth is, of what the Eved Poshet really is. It's at the Etzem Yerida of his Neshama. He's much more of a Metzias than what they are. But ultimately, in the avoided dafka, because of that, they remain a certain Metzias. It's like how they call it, a Dover HaMshapi. And it's also Mavur in those Maiman and other places also in Siddhis, that there's a certain power in the Eved Poshet that since the Eibishter is working as it were through him like a Dover Botalil or Legamri, then to a certain extent there's like a power of Yesh Mi'ayin working here. And therefore he achieves things which are almost in the area of like he makes new situations which never existed. In other words, he's able to take something which is so under the clippers, like his goof and his whole self, and he makes it a bottle. That's like a form of Yesh Mi'ayin. And also in other inyonim, the same kind of Mahari for him, really plays. Again, these people, these very high neshamas, they feel the whole drawback into themselves, into Elikut, and they would give away everything of Elikut with the greatest super. They feel this unbelievable. Yeah, they don't have that unbelievable mile of Yesh Mi'ayin what they have in Poshet's got. Yeah. So you know the famous story with the Rebbe that someone said, you guys don't know the story. It's Mars, it was grand. But there was once a guy in Yeshidus with the Rebbe the Tzon Tzaddik, and the Rebbe said to him something about you have to have the limit of Torah, you have to find the limit of Torah. So he said, Rebbe, what can I do? He said, I don't want to learn. I don't have any desire to learn. He said, I have to force myself. I'm tired. I don't feel drawn to learn. I'm drawn after all the other inyanim. So the Rebbe said, that's an unbelievable miley. And the Rebbe said to him, when you will learn, you'll have all the miles that they have precious. I mean, not mavish with that words, but meaning and implying that. So the the Rebbe said, what could I do? He said, but Mir will to hear. The Rebbe, someone said, he's lacking that he wants you to learn. And he said, Mir will to, in Yiddish, that means I want to learn, So therefore the guy said to him, okay, Rebbe, he said, you know what, let's swap. This Pasha said to the Rebbe, the Talmud said, in Ken Rebbe, we'll swap, and you'll be the Eved Pasha, I'll be there. I'll be the Ben or the Eved now, Rodriguez. So the Talmud said, he said, oh no, that not. He said, I'm prepared to explain to you everything, but I'm not prepared to swap. You know what I mean? Anyway, if you're thinking that mindset, then you'll see that to a certain extent all these nuances are hidden inside that mind. Oh, the unbelievable thing about our Rebbe is that he can also be coming over and push it also if he needs, because he knows everything, and therefore he knows ultimately even how to do that. That's what we have to say.
I have a question about that.
Huh?
I have a question about that. You said the Rebbe Shah said in the Maimer that Never Pashat, he has the second nature where he overcomes his first nature, which is to do Averas. If a person is already a tzaddik and he's completely given over.
Yeah, he didn't have that problem. But
right.
nonetheless, he could put himself into the position of an Eved person. He's able to at least, how do you call it, be together with the Avodim, like Shittim Gamke. How do I know that? Because he says later on, the Rabbi, the Hemshech, I don't know if we're going to get that far, that he says that there's a ben that becomes an Eved. He says that there's a ben, he's got all the miles of ben, but nonetheless he gives himself away and he makes himself into an Eved. That's a ability to come out of it. And that can only be done by certain, really Kabbalah Celtic people. We have to say that Rebbe is like that. He can be a ben, he can also be an Eved, he can be either both of them. Depending on what is necessary for the Hashpah. So he said to Rebbe, by these people, it's not an Avodah Gemura. Apart from those things, that they have certain miles which are mentioned over there. Ulazois, ein avidos and ekshevas kamoy avidus orden v'ahavai. Therefore, despite his tremendous elevation, and despite his nearness to the Orden and all those inyanim, his avodah is not considered to be as if the Orden himself did it. It's like a very trusted friend of his. How do you call it? Mashbiach improves, causes profit in his properties. Mashbiach nachosav, causes profit in his properties. Ukahayavna, similar to that. There's a certain combination here from somebody else. Somebody else caused him this profit. So, it's not the work of his hand. Somebody else made him that profit. So, as they say, I call Rebbe, everything's profit, everything which is profit is profit. So the audience happy with that. But it's not the same as if he would have done it with his own hand. It's not tremendous tainu, but it is tainu. Like somebody finds a thing which is already ready. If he finds something which is already ready, he doesn't feel the same tainu as if he put it all together and got it all ready. They say that why is it that some people like pulling things apart and putting them all together and all this other. There's a certain unbelievable tainu by some. Shamas in that, because it's a big difference if you just get something and it's all been put together for you by the shop or the local electrician does it for you and you just come on and turn it on, or if you broke your cup and you messed around and you did it yourself and then you turn it on. It's under the time. The Rebbe said the same thing, that when the Orden gets from the Eved Neman, despite his great miles, then he's very pleased with the but it's not really his inyan. When the Eved Posher does him something, then he sees that as if it was his own inyan, as if it's come through him himself. So here the Rebbe said, it's from both sides like that. He said the Eved Neman, when he causes the Odin, and that comes really from something which is already there, so he said that's really because the Eved Neman also started off with things which are already there. He doesn't really make a thing mamish yes miyayin, like we pointed out. It's not mamish mitzad his own koyach, ki mitzad ilui ha'odin. Shum zeh nishkasha eilah. So this is a gewaldige point. He said it's also by the Eved Neman, also to a certain extent, it's already, whatever he does has already been prepared a bit. It's not really his inyan. And why is he doing all these things? Because he understood the milah of the other. So Kumta said when he adds something into the Odin, it's because of the mila of the Odin that he's doing it. It's clear that those things were already there. The mile of the Odin was already there, and the mile of the things around the Odin are already there. In other words, that all those high madregas in Ishtaushulas are already, as it were, there. Over the Pashut, he starts off mamish underneath the starting line. He has absolutely nothing. So when he does something and he achieves something, then it's like a yesh mina ayin. It's not something that's mucha. And he can't say, oh yes, he did it because of the mile of the Odin. He doesn't understand the mile of the Odin. He knows he's got to do what the Odin wants. Whenever when he does it, it comes to us that that's like a dova chidush. It's like the famous Moshe brought in Siddur with the Tzipah Midaberet. He's talking kochatus or whatever they are, that they talk. But that causes such a shinui in the etzem mahus teva of the bria. That causes a tainus. So the same thing, that when the Evan Poshet, when he's just part of the world, he breaks, does a Indian Eloki, that's like Yesh Mi'ayin. That's a Dova Chodosh. In the Evan Ne'eman, he does high things, but he does it because he understood the greatness of the Odin. The greatness of the Odin is something that's already there. That's not something that he's. Remember, all the things he does are filled with that inspiration. And if it's not a Dova Chodosh, it's like learning some unbelievable tastes here. ובנים של המיילה מוחה שאין הממשיך בזה בבחינס מצווי סוי דבורים מדקה ממש from the עצמה he's ממשיך only things which are shy to Eretz B'Kelim, which means also the idea of something already prepared. But if you ממשיך from the עצmas, then it's always a Dova Chodosh. Weißt du? Also you don't know much with the Rebbe the Tzemach Tzedek. But the Rebbe the Tzemach Tzedek said that what they used to hear, there was he and some other people, that the Alter Rebbe used to say Maimonim for them in Yeshidas, like just for a group. So the Rebbe the Tzemach Tzedek said that sometimes we heard the same Maimon from the Alter Rebbe several times over. He said nonetheless every time we heard it was like a Dova Chadash we'd never heard before. So he said, why was that? He said, because in Atzmas, there's oil and there's ma'or, there's the source of oil. So he said, in ma'or is alamol chodosh. In the very source of everything, in Atzmas, everything which comes out of it is new. But once something's already been nimshach, it's not a new thing, it's already there. So it could be you got there and you haven't been there before, it's a little davar chadash. So when you come to the Atzmas, when the Atzmas gives forth something, then what it gave forth before and what it gives forth now are incomparable from the Adya. That's what he means here. The Evet Posher, he comes mamish into the Atzmas. Yeah, therefore he's always got a. But the Evet Ne'eman, he's dealing with the Inyonim which are already there. Once it's already there, they're not mamish chodesh min ha'atzmas. That's it, my dear gentlemen. So have a good evening.
We learn in certain places that it's just like we do mitzvahs, Hashem does mitzvahs. Now that we're talking about the Severa Pashit and the service, that's like Hashem's mitzvah. Is that what it's talking about?
Yeah, that's what we said before. The Avish does the mitzvahs, but he does them through you.
Right.
It's a new idea. Not just he does them a mile in Ruchni.
Right.
Mitzvah soy, the emes of Pshat is the mitzvahs that are done down here, but they're done by a evet that's been Mekabel Oil Malchus Shemayim so much so that he has no Metzias Le'atman. Those are mitzvah soy. Those are the emes of Pshat mitzvahs. Yeah. It never comes by himself. Laman Tizra Sismas Kol Mitzvahs Hashem, and then it goes over again. Laman Tizra Sismas Kol Mitzvahs soy. In other words, it's one hemshel, it's one aliyah from one thing into another. Okay, good, my dear child. So we'll go on. Could you tell me, I want to make a remark about something.